On the evening after our explosive COJ episode aired, Jennifer Spivey Foley, backed by an army of over 100 Justice for Scott Spivey supporters, spoke at the Ory County Council meeting, where she eloquently called out Ory County leadership for their inaction in her brother's case and made another plea for help, getting Governor Henry McMaster to assign a special prosecutor to look into Scott's case.
The words hanging over the door of Horry County Police Department reads, "Professionals at work for you." These words carry a hollow meaning for my family. We trust law enforcement to protect us, to do the right thing. The rule of law requires that people are in these positions are required to be ethical, moral, and abide by the rules. But the truth in Scott's case never had a chance from the beginning. Its outcome was determined before the real investigation ever got started. All we ever asked for was a fair, true, and just investigation. As you all know, that did not happen. We are disappointed to continue to discover the acts of Horry County Police Department officers that assisted in this biased investigation. These officers took an oath to uphold and protect individuals in their jurisdiction to ensure the application and protection of their constitutional rights, the same rights that we all have. As the former deputy chief said, dead men tell no tales. In this case, it seems that many people of authority believe that since dead men can't tell any tales, their voice doesn't matter. I speak for those tonight who cannot speak for themselves, and that is my brother. The AG told my family that nothing mattered prior to the incident that happened on Camp Swamp Road. It did not matter that Boyd and Williams chased my brother at speeds at close to or over 100 miles per hour for 9 miles. How can they not consider that when you clearly hear the shooters say they have their guns drawn too? Right from the beginning. In Boyd's own admission in his tape to his mother, "Between me and you, Mama," yes, Scott knew he was being followed. He just ran me off the road and I was like, F that guy, and I chased him. I was on his ass. And his truck couldn't outrun mine, and Scott knew it. Scott was terrified. Those are his words. Imagine being chased down and somebody telling you that this is a stand your ground case.
Pause real quick. We went back to the tapes and listened to the phone call where Weldon told his mother that Scott had been terrified when he was chasing him. We want you to hear this for yourself.
Oh, he knew I was following him. Me and you talking, he knew he had fucked up at that point because all the other cars slammed on brakes and was trying to get away from him. And I was like, he just ran me off the road and aimed a gun at Riley's head. Fuck this guy. And I chased him. Oh, I was on his ass. And his truck couldn't outrun my truck. And he knew it. So yeah, he was terrified. I believe 100% he had realized he's fucked up. He's probably going to jail, and he's running. And then, for some reason, when he turned down that road, he decided it was just going to be a fight.
Again, Weldon's own words, telling on himself. Words that should have been heard by a number of law enforcement officials who claimed they had thoroughly reviewed this case, but did nothing until they absolutely had to.
The trust in those who were sworn to protect us has been broken. How can Ory County constituents, tourists, bordering locals trust the justice and unbiased service here? We ardently and respectfully request the council to take action to help restore the community's trust. With all the evidence available to the public now, I hope everyone realizes there is no rug left to sweep anything under. Demand the governor to act. If he won't, please demand the sheriff to act. Do something more than what's been done to date. This is not just my family's problem. We must all continue our fight until justice is had. I would like to thank the council again for the opportunity to speak, and we also want to thank the people of Horry County that have recognized that reform is needed. We pray that these requests have fallen on open ears and concerned hearts, and I pray that you all sleep tonight knowing that no blind eye can be turned to Scott Spivey anymore. Thank you.
Jennifer received a standing ovation that was immediately interrupted in the most good old boy of ways by Ory County Council Chairman Johnny Gardner.
I guess you don't want me to talk.
When the noise died down, he continued his passive-aggressive ways.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you for speaking with us. We understand your situation. We've tried to help. The police have tried to help. Mr. Administrator, if you had still been there, I would have asked him to hand you a copy of this letter that the delegation has done, doing the same thing that we've done, and we'll see what happens from there.
Let's be real here. Until Ory County Police Department's dirty deeds were exposed through Jennifer Spivey's civil lawsuit, and they were forced by the public to look into the investigation that they said was over, they would have never sought any accountability for the Spivey case. Ever. They are only investigating this case right now because they absolutely have to. For over a year, Ory County's actions to cover up their own and their inaction, letting this case just sit there and taking no steps to hold anyone accountable for Scott Spivey's homicide, that has sent a message loud and clear to visitors and residents of the Myrtle Beach area. Come to Horry County, South Carolina, where a man can chase you for 9 miles before shooting you to death, and the police will work hard to make sure that man gets away with it by claiming self-defense. Remember, we don't know what exactly started the beef between Scott and Weldon that evening in September 2023. We do know from hundreds of text messages and calls and Facebook posts from Weldon leading up to the incident that he was a man full of rage and baby mama problems on that day. From where we stand, what happened to Scott Spivey could happen to anyone, and I wouldn't advise anyone to visit the Myrtle Beach area until Ory County Police actually clean house instead of dancing around the sunlight like a bunch of lying fools.
So, after the Ory County Legislative Delegation letter was published Tuesday, and after Jennifer Spivey Foley delivered her groundbreaking speech in front of County Council, Ory County Police attempted to mitigate the public backlash they've been getting for this case by calling a Wednesday morning press conference. Here is Police Chief Chris Leonhardt, who lied in his last press conference and has not corrected that lie, giving the quote-unquote update in this case.
I've directed now an IA team. That team, we have 3 investigators that are dedicated every day to reviewing this case for any type of misconduct, policy violations that we may find on the part of the Horry County Police Department. Since I've been chief, I've directed that. We have discovered last week 7 additional videos that were improperly labeled. Those were reviewed and sent over to SLED as a continuation of the misconduct investigation, as well as our internal affairs investigation to conduct. So as I've stated before, as new updates become available, we will get that information to you to be transparent to the community and get that information out there.
Okay, so that's a big old nothing burger. That's their big excuse for this massive cover-up, is that they mislabeled files? Like it was a simple organizational error? But sadly, the majority of the TV stations covering this story ran with that excuse and blasted it to their audiences. Leonhardt said in the press conference that 3 other officers involved with the Spivey case, who have not been named yet, are being investigated for policy violations. But again, I'm not going to put any undeserved weight in his words. We need to see action. And just in case you're thinking to yourself, Mandy, you're so hard on cops. They deserve to be trusted by the public. Well, Chief Leonhardt lied to the public again in Wednesday's press conference when he was asked about Officer Brandon Strickland.
No, from what I'm aware, Brandon Strickland had no action in this case as far as on scene.
I'm sorry. What? Now I realize he said no action on scene. But sir, the deputy police chief that you allowed to resign literally was caught on audio the day after the shooting, telling his buddy boy Weldon, the suspect, that he was literally working in the shadows of the Scott Spivey investigation.
I was in the shadows last night. I weren't there, but I was in the shadows.
And this is why Leonhardt cannot be trusted. This is why the entire Ory County Police Department cannot be trusted. Because when the truth is exposed to the entire world, they continue to double down on their lies. I understand that he was quick to couch his words by saying he had no action in this case as far as the scene, when in reality, Strickland himself was caught on tape saying exactly what he was doing in the shadows to steer this investigation. If Leonhardt had a single shred of integrity left inside of him, he would have at least said something like, "We are still investigating the extent of Strickland's involvement in this case." That's all he needed to say. But instead, all that Wednesday's press conference showed was that good old boys will continue to double down when they are caught, and they will continue to dance around the truth when they are forced to face the sunlight.